Well, hello everybody. I can't hear the audience.
Oh, you couldn't hear the audience?
No.
Oh,
Oh, you give me virtual earplugs.
yeah,
Never mind.
it came through
Hello
on the
everybody.
stream. Oh, goodness.
Oh dear, really?
Yeah.
Of course I'm muted on. Yeah, okay, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I'm here. Yes,
Yeah.
everybody. It is me. It is me. Thank you for that wonderful round of applause that I didn't hear. Hmm. I'm Mal Burns. Mal, first name, Burns, second name. On Twitter, however, as in so many places, I have been squashed. I've been squashed for nearly 20 years. It's a bit annoying. But if you want to find me, go to twitter.com/malburns, Malburns. And I mention that. I mention that deliberately. Of course I do. That's where you find me. But it's also where you will find the direct links for the stuff I'm going to be talking about on this show. Because when I bring up some of our screens here, the only record I have is the Earl, say the front page of the site. So following my links to Twitter means you will get to the exact pages that I'm referencing. Just word of advice there, really. Anyhow, as well as me, there's another Twitter feed, twitter.com/Metaworld News. Much lesser used at the moment, but nevertheless, stuff about actually inhabited virtual worlds and things like that. Only one today, and we'll be starting with that, in fact. Twitter.com/Malburns or twitter.com/Metaworld News. And talking of others, I have with me none other than James Atloud. Welcome, James.
Well, thank you, Mal. I apologize for the audio. I'm gonna have to figure out what link wasn't set properly where and all these different software things. But oh
I
gracious.
know, too many wires
All
and
right.
pipes and cables and
I heard it
everything
and
else.
OBS heard it, so why didn't Mal hear it? I don't know.
Who
But
knows? Well, of
who
course,
knows?
I've got my monitors muted, and my screen is muted too. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
technically not headphones. So yeah, it's probably I would probably have heard it if I had something else open, but I
yeah.
didn't. So there we
There's a
go.
kitty. Did you hear the kitty? Oh,
No, that was
okay.
me.
All right.
Fair
Oh,
enough. Okay, so anyway,
drat
James
this.
here is doing lots of things behind the scenes. Basically, he's fiddling with knobs that allow my desktop to come on screen as appropriate.
Oh,
Also,
Mal.
my avatar. Yes.
Well, I just wanted to mention about the shirt. I went back to
Oh,
the Tobacco Docs event, and they have a new shirt this week, and so I just thought I'd point that out since we're here, we're in
very
Sansar.
good.
Yep. So
I
they
was gonna.
just.
I was going to come to the shirt. I just
Oh,
chose to do
okay,
the
okay.
video bit.
Oh, I see. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
so congratulations on your shirt. When are you going to get a new mask?
Um, I'm gonna wear the mask until I think it's safe in Sansar.
Yeah, but a new mask, a fresh one with a different
Oh,
design,
okay,
and
okay.
yeah, well, is that one you? Is that one the kind you take to the virtual laundry and just use it again?
Yeah,
I guess.
I do. I use it again and again, right?
Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, yes. So you got your mask, your t-shirt, and as I said, your twiddling knobs that allow the viewers at home to see my desktop,
Yep.
or see my avatar from one angle, or see my avatar from another angle, or see anything else we care to throw at them on special occasions that we do such things. Anyway, fairly simple today. Just a list of links from my Twitter feed, except for the very first link, which I'm going to go to now, which is actually, you'll find the link at twitter.com/MetaWorldNews. And it's a latest roundup from our friends at Hypergrid Business. So you want hypergridbusiness.com. And basically, Maria is reporting on the fact that prices in Open Simulator are dropping to record lows. And the median, as she calls it, is now $10. Basically, I think, yeah, the lowest single price for a standard region fell right down to $2.50 at the Neverworld grid, which of course is one of many thousands of grids that make up Open Simulator, and Open Simulator itself, of course, if regarded en masse. Has a very similar structure to Second Life. It's being rather than being a walled garden, it's like an open framework of interconnected grids. So, just mention that. Metaverse news, Alfie, Virtual, Abbey Worlds, Barefoot Dreams, Grid, Dynamic Worlds, Grid. I think those are just keywords she's put at the top there rather than a subtitle. And yeah, she's plugging her science fiction writing, which she seems to be, and she seems to be fiddling around with artwork too, for science fiction as well. So I don't know if she's spending that much time on OpenSim these days. Anyway, average price. Half the grids have lower prices, half have higher prices, but the average is now £10 a month, the lowest in history. And but by prices, I mean you get a little square, or quite a big square, really, of land to carve up and do anything you want with on OpenSim. And depending on which grid you choose, that's where the price differential tends to come in, and also how many prims you want and all sorts of things, really. Um, yeah, right. Avatar Life, for example, has one region that goes at 99 US dollars a month. So that's a major contrast from 2.50 at the cheapest end. Anyway, she's got her usual graphs on OpenSim price distribution and it's like that. And out of 49 region rentals, 18 of them were priced under $10, 8 at exactly 10, and 14 from 11 through to 20. 9 grids had $21 or more. Anyway, if you want all that information, you should check out hypergridbusiness.com and you can find information. And all these grids, of course, have links, so you can click through to get to the individual grids to find out more about them. So that is for Hypergrid Business. Now I'm moving to all the following links now, except for some of the videos near the end. You will find twitter.com/Malburns, Malburns. And we start as always, although I'm really not going to hang around here, with the ghost howls.
Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. Never mind. I think our sound effects department has gone cuckoo today.
Oh man.
Never mind. Never
All
mind.
right.
Never
All
mind.
right.
We'll fix that later. Okay, this is, as ever, is the XR Wheat Peak from scarredghost.com. So that's SKARREDGHOST.com. And as you can see, it's dated 17th of May because this is always published at the beginning of the week. And it's actually a roundup of news from the week before. So much of this contains news that maybe we've referenced on last week's show, or other stuff that we didn't reference because it was out of our remit. But it's a very good way to start the week, just like watching this show at the beginning of the week to get you going. If you want to read something instead, the XR Wheat Peak is probably the thing to be doing there. Scrolling down there. About Vive, chips, Vive Focus 3. I don't know what's going on there at all. Obviously, that's sort of technical stuff about the Vive, which we wouldn't normally figure, but there's a whole load there to catch up on. So check out scarredghost.com for that one. Moving on. And as you probably gather, we're starting near the beginning of the week and working our way up to date. And here we are. This is a site called medicalexpress.com. MEDICALEXPRESS. So there's no E in the express bit of that. It's all one word, but without an E before the X. Psychology research demonstrates unique time compression effect of virtual reality. Yeah, this is actually all about time and time compression. From what I see here, I mean, this is well. I remember when I was reading this earlier in the week. Well, beginning of the week, of course, wasn't it? Um, Time compression is not something that has suddenly been discovered that is unique to virtual worlds or VR. It's simply something that has seemed to exist in VR. Um, the full immersion, basically, and the dissociation with what's going on around you has very strange effects on the human body. If you're totally immersed and have no signals from the outside world, so to speak, then your life, your sense of time, what you do is all at the dictates of the environment you've immersed yourself in, um, because you have no other cues. So you can do something in VR that you think it's, oh, that was a long 10 minutes, and then you realize it was actually 2 hours, not 10 minutes anyway. But that can often happen, if you just, I don't know, watching a good film and you get totally carried away by the story and you don't really look around. Maybe you're sitting in a cinema and the people on either side of you have long since gone and been replaced by somebody else, but you don't know it because even the cue of somebody moving doesn't distract you from watching the film. So time compression is there anyway. Basically, there's some cognitive science undergraduate at UC Santa Cruz. um, piqued his interest in this, not knowing how much time has passed, basically. And the results have been published in a journal called Timing and Time Perception. And the researchers, or the professor, Nicholas David Dingle, yeah, tried an experiment to try and get to the bottom of it. I wanted to know if virtual reality's effects on gameplayers' sense of time differ from those of conventional monitors. And well, they came to the conclusion it did. But I mean, when you actually think of the difference between being in a headset and looking at a monitor, it's not really surprising that the benchmarks, as it were, for time distortion are slightly different, given that there's no distractions. Anyway, interesting sort of research stuff if you're into that kind of thing. As I said, medicalexpress.com, all one word, but there is no E before the express. So it's medical and then XPRESS. Moving on. This is rotovr.com. We know them, don't we? Ben Lang reporting as ever. Talking about Digital Lens, who are the creators of waveguide optics, they've announced a new design, version 1 of a modular reference headset, which the company hopes will accelerate the development and consumerization of truly glasses-side AR headsets. Well, it's AR, basically overlay stuff rather than usable as VR, as far as I know. But they're building the modular AR glasses to accelerate consumerization. So I quite like to look at these. I mean, the fact that they're modular means you open them up and put them together yourself. But I think there's only 4 or 5 bits. It doesn't seem too hard, unlike some things I've seen. And yeah, I'm a big fan of glasses. I would love to get to the point where we have switchable AR VR glasses. I've actually been at quite a lot of events, talks and panels and stuff during the week. And this is the sort of thing that has sort of come up. And I was actually dying to get on one panel because I've always had a thing that I mentioned. You may have heard me mention it before, um, to demonstrate the AR VR thing. And that is that I imagine I imagine in my house, maybe I'll look something up on Google and, think, oh, well, let's head down to the countryside and go and see this old, medieval village, that they've unearthed. And I'd get there and on the train, I'd be on an iPad or something, reading a bit, looking up on about it, or maybe not, maybe just wait till I get there. But when I get there, I would have augmented reality glasses I could put on. The engine in the glasses would almost certainly be powered either wirelessly or by some cable going into my smartphone. Where it makes sense if you're carrying a personal computer in your pocket anyway, why not use it for punching the numbers, so to speak, and rely on the glasses for display only? Um, so I would enter, I saw the, hill and loads of mounds and things. Then I would see like National Trust little signs that telling me, what this mound is. And if I look carefully, I can see the rifts, where there was a passageway and where there was a room. But the moment I had augmented glasses on, I would see a schematic of all this stuff they're telling me, and I wouldn't need to lean down and read the signs because it will be all overlaid on the view before me. Not only the information, but also as I walk towards one thing and another, some indication of what I'm doing. And I could get umpteen amounts of information, through augmented reality markers. But in the ideal world, I could then say, oh, this is exciting. This place must have been really beautiful, far more so than it looks now. So I would optionally want to be able to say switch to a VR mode, which would actually allow me to walk around in a virtual simulation of that little ancient village as it really was back in the day. Simulation put together with architectural and archaeological sort of information. Maybe they analyze the bones and they know how high the people were on average and what they wore, and all that could be conveyed in a virtual reality environment. So I see this, if you're going to call it a part of the metaverse, I don't know, but I see that transition as a kind of stepping stone, right? You have the simplest possible thing. You might even look something up in a paperback book, or on a pad or something like that before you even go out to find out. Look around, maybe look on the Google Earth, see where you would like to go. But then you go to the real world and you get your exercise, you breathe fresh air and do all that. You have a day out, but it's an educational thing. You're visiting this forgotten village, and as the need arises, you can strap more and more information, I was going to say onto your face, but basically through the glasses into your head. And you can miss out on one, but you could go, you can imagine arriving there and think, oh, I'll go straight into VR, this will be fun, or and forget the AR, or vice versa. So that process is something that actually kind of interests me. I don't like thinking of AR and VR as really completely separate. I think at some point they'll be much the same. There'll be different aspects of the same sort of thing. Viewing places we can't get to, basically in the real world. Anyway, I'll leave you to read up on this. But the site you want here is roadtovr.com, roadtovr.com. And find out all about DigiLens, including that nice little picture there. I might just, this is only a minute, so let's have a look.
Is there any audio with it?
You're not hearing it?
Nope.
Okay, folks. Well, something is a bit weird today, because if you can hear my voice, there is no reason you weren't hearing that video.
Right.
Because it's
right.
playing on a screen in front of me. How loud is my voice, James? Is it
It's quite good.
today?
Yeah. I've got the volume down a little bit so it's not going into the red. So plenty of punch.
And so, quite literally.
Now I hear it. There we are.
How weird. Okay, it must have been some kind of glitch. I was hearing popping noises earlier too, but okay, well, let's just see the end of it. You get the idea.
And no audio now.
Oh.
It's not our day for audio, apparently.
It's not. I don't understand that at all.
No,
I mean, we
neither do
all
I.
get faults, but how you can hear my voice and not hear the audio, which is on the same channel, quite
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
You're hearing audio through my mic, so go figure.
yeah.
That is very, very odd indeed.
It's very
Okay,
strange.
well, we'll wait till we get to our next video and see if it's any better.
Maybe
But
do we need
you've
to
got,
retire, Mel? Do we need to just step aside?
yeah,
Let the
maybe.
young people do this.
Shall we log off and say goodbye
Yes,
to
it
everybody?
was a good
Oh,
show. Thanks, everybody.
no, I can't face that. I can't face that. That'd just be too hard.
It would.
Yeah,
All
I think,
right.
maybe just take a minute off the show every week for the next few years until we're down to 1 minute, and then we can
Okay.
say,
Great.
oh, Answers on a postcard, please. Do you want it or don't you? As they say. Okay, more about that at roadtovr.com, and you can obviously play the uh, oh,
Gesundheit. I heard that.
yes, this is okay. You heard that. You
I
weren't
heard
meant to.
that. Yep.
If it was going to mute anything, it could have muted that, couldn't it? Never
Uh,
mind. Never
yeah.
mind. Let's move on. Roadtovr.com. So, okay, we're back to the ghost tiles, of course. I wonder if that will work now.
I'll try it, but it went out on the stream, but you still didn't hear it, huh?
I didn't hear it. Okay, there's something really
Wow.
fishy going on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fishy,
Yep.
fishy, fishy.
Fishy, fishy.
Okay, well, um, there's not any noise cancellation or anything like that. No. I don't know. Okay, this Scar Ghost again, SKARREDGHOST.com. And this is an interview with somebody called Regine Gilbert, who's talking about accessibility in XR. Accessibility, even in 2D virtual worlds, has always been on the um, agenda. If you go to Second Life, for example, there's a company called Virtual Ability based there, who they cater for hard of hearing people, hard of sight people, and wheelchair people, everything you can imagine, really. And anyway, Regine Gilbert here is an industry assistant professor at NYU, and he's written a book on this topic called Inclusive Design for a Digital World. And basically, Skull Ghost Anthony asks what people can find inside it. And there you are. It's basically a long, I think it's just a text interview. There are some, there's an embedded video and stuff there, but and it's a very short interview about accessibility, basically, in text, but plenty of links to follow through, of course, if that's your field of interest. So, moving on again. This is blog.google. It's BLOG dot BOOGLE. And this is a post by Clay Bavor, who's vice president at Google. I guess he's actually vice president of the whole bloody thing, rather than a department. Um, talking about something they announced at a sort of mini conference during the week called Project Starlight. Feel like you're there together. Now they point out this is research at the moment, but it seems to be, something they're a fair old way along, so to speak. Um, the idea really is you have a screen, right? Much like a big screen TV, but it'll be presumably positioned somewhere where it'd be like looking through a window or even looking over the counter of the shop or something, where you will see the person you're talking to life size. And I don't know if any of you know the Facebook people brought out a range of devices called portals. We were actually, the reason we're late on air today is we were talking about them for too long before we came on air. Um, but the portal devices feature a camera that can sort of follow you around to a great extent. And also, if you have a modern iPhone or iPad with something called LiDAR scanning, that allows the camera to see a picture with more than just a conventional photography. Obviously it sees and renders pixels of what it sees in front of it, but it has a kind of bounce back light sort of facility where obviously a photograph cannot see behind the subject, but it can calculate what is really behind most of the subject from the way the light from behind bounces back. In other words, when you take the photograph, one part of the camera is taking a photograph, the other part of it is recording bounce back information, as I understand it, and then the two are merged together to create this LiDAR type photo, which uh, is gives you much more. You can almost move the picture, not only like the camera for following you around, but also where you can look. You can just tilt a little bit to the side, And in the case of this woman, for example, you see a bit more the side of her head on both sides as you tilt it. You wouldn't be able to walk right behind her and see her real back of her head, but enough to make the experience very lifelike, much more lifelike than just a video feed. So anyway, Google's project thingamajig. Scroll down, all right. Project Starlight, there we are. Thingamajig is all about doing this. Share, collaborate, connect. They're going to zoom out of the current world there, really. How can we use technology to create the feeling of being together with someone just like they're actually there? And Project Starline is designed to solve that challenge. And it combines advances in hardware and software to enable friends, families, and co-workers to feel together even when they are cities or countries apart. And there you go. This is giving you a vague idea. This is not a video per se, it's just a GIF or something. So I can't fast forward it for you. I don't think I can. So you can see what sort of it's well, it's going too fast for me to comment, and I'm not qualified to comment anyway. But if you want more about this, go to Google. Actually, it's not Google.com. Google is a domain name, so it's BLOG dot, and then the suffix is Google, so GOOGLE. Right, a bit unusual that one. Google, I guess, are big enough to have a domain of their own in that respect. Right, moving on. And oh, what's happened here? Can I still be heard?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, well, yeah, okay. So that computer's the Mac here seems to have got slightly frozen.
Okay.
Don't know what it's doing. Oh no, there we go. There we go. Okay.
Was the
Um,
wheel spinning?
Yeah,
The wheel.
and my calendar and clock is playing up really
Ah, right,
silly.
right.
I can't actually get it to go away, so you can see it's stuck in the corner there, which I don't like at all. Lord, I can't even move the. Oh yeah, I can move that out of the way for a second. Oh come on, you stupid! Of course, it's a widget, so there's no thing saying quit. Oh, Lord, I don't want. Okay. Oh, still haven't. Oh, now what? Now what? Now what? I was wondering where to reboot this machine before it came on air, but it's still not. Crikey. Okay, I'm going to have to carry on and just do a little bit of tweaking on our thing there. Right, I'm going to move on to the next link and hope that refresh might work there. Okay, so next link. Um, This is vrfocus.com, vrfocus.com, and Microsoft patent suggesting live detection and rendering of real objects in VR. I'll tell you what, I'm also getting a hiss on my microphone.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now it went as soon as you talked. Okay, never mind. Right, okay, I'm going to rush through this stuff anyway, I think, because it's quite a taste. vrfocus.com, vrfocus.com. And basically, there's a little schematic there. Basically, using their Microsoft HoloLens and things. They mentioned Oculus there, but I think that's a critique. They want to. They've got an idea of the way you can actually bring real objects into a 3D environment. Right, Microsoft patent is entitled "Transitioning into a VR Environment and Warning HMD Users of Real-Time Physical Obstacles." Um, okay, submitted just over a year ago. The suggestion seems to be that they've been granted the patent. Anyway, it's all part of the matrix that is building itself. hardware-wise. So if you want to read about that, go to vrfocus.com, and I suspect you'll find something at Microsoft's site. If you can find it. Moving on. The next site is posted at medium.com. Now, if you go to Medium more than about twice a month, you'll suddenly find yourself not being able to see what you're looking for because it's a sort of paywall system. But quite an interesting
This looks good,
post
Mal.
is what the
The title of this page. What is the metaverse? This looks good.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I must say, I think this must be a very decent article because they've resisted the temptation to put an S after metaverse.
Right.
What are the metaverses? I wouldn't even have read it if it had
Right.
said that,
Right.
because it would be proof. It would be proof that the whatever asshole wrote it did not know what they were talking about. Yes, but this is not the case. The metaverse is the sum of all shared, persistent virtual spaces. It is the totality of all the digital and virtual worlds, as well as digital assets and the data on the entire internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So up yours, Epic Games,
Right.
and up yours, No Blocks, or up yours, whatever the other one is. And, well, you get it, right? The latest. I don't think I've actually added it to the list this week because it was really a load of nonsense. I mean, everybody under the sun is actually claiming to be starting a metaverse. You see, none of them seem to know what a metaverse is anyway, or the metaverse is, including. Wait for it. This time it's not a company, it's a country. South Korea, not the
Oh.
northern ones. South Korea has actually decided it's going to build its own metaverse this week. No great information about how long it's going to take and when it's going to appear. Now, whether you'll need a passport to get into it, and in which case it's not a metaverse, it's a walled garden. But let's see. I must admit, I did sort of blink, because it's one thing having Epic Games and all these other people saying they're going to build a metaverse. It's another one when the country jumps into the mix, But it is it's the keyword of the week or whatever they call it, or the
Yeah.
month or the
Yeah.
year, and it is people are not going to, this is the start of the abuse of the metaverse, conceptually at least. Anyway, as I said, a decent summary there. Totality of it all, really. Talks about merging digital and the physical, the characteristics of the metaverse, and live, constantly available, interoperable, host experience and content. Uh, um, People can get to it wherever they want. Accessible using multiple different physical devices and ISPs, and fully functioning economy, and also other economies on numerous applications and layers of the metaverse, as you say, refer to layers of the metaverse. Um, Complex network of different platforms, applications, digital worlds. Then we have the technologies used in the metaverse. Really don't have to um, into all that. There's a lot of it.
Oh.
Then discussing the culture within the metaverse, which is slightly shorter there. Conclusion: the metaverse is the next frontier for online interaction, which will unlock a new generation of apps, platforms, and use cases. It will redefine the digital space. Organizations that take time to understand, yes, understand, you hear that? Yep,
I heard
and
it.
adapt their digital strategies properly can engage with the metaverse and be at an advantage. So there you go. There
Yeah.
you go. And links to Lansar Research, which produced, which is where the chat works, but also produced that little graphic at the top here. So you will find that at medium.com, medium.com. And obviously you go to twitter.com, Mal Burns, you'll be able to get a direct link. Medium is a pretty big site. So going to medium.com on its own is not going to get you there, I'm afraid. Right. So this went a bit under the radar, actually. Don't really know how it's important. No mention of it from the Second Life people. And no mention of it really in the greater media. But this was a post from Global Newswire during the week, and Wolves and Linden Lab have actually concluded a patent infringement lawsuit. Um, Basically, Worlds, which is something to do with Microsoft as well, have asked the court to stay infringement litigation in an appeal on something to do with Activision. This is all kind of legal stuff, but it's probably if you need to know and follow these sort of things, then having this sort of roundup of it's total legal gobbledygook, isn't it? But it may be of interest to you. So you can get this at Global. No, sorry, not Global. Globe Newswire. GLOBENEWSWIRE.com. And I'm just going to, well, I've given it you. I'm going to just head down my list about 4 entries because if I needed a segue, this is it, right?
Mm.
We're going to LawFuel.com. That's LAW, as in law, and then fuel, as in petrol, FUEL. So LawFuel.com. And guess what? Who else is going to jump in to the metaverse? You guessed it. The metaverse! Yeah. Why lawyers are drawn to the
Oh,
seductive
lawyers.
meta.
Okay.
Why lawyers are drawn to the seductive metaverse.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, with a title like that, good grief. Oh, finally, my screen seems to have corrected itself, so I can just center this box again. Oh, if it, well, maybe it, oh yeah, maybe we're getting somewhere there. Right. Um, okay. This has made the concept of a global metaverse attractive with the capacity to transform the way we work, play, and socialize. With the growth and adoption of the metaverse will raise age-old legal questions, and it will also generate a number of unique legal and regulatory obstacles that need to be overcome. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Get your wallets out, folks. A multidisciplinary team of lawyers at Reed Smith have compiled a single user-friendly guide to the unique legal issues that the rise of the metaverse will create. And it's called the Metaverse White Paper. um, that's it, basically, except, as you might hope, download the Metaverse report here. The blue text means there's an active link there, and you can go get it for yourself. So check this page out at Lawful. Oh, sorry, LawFuel. LawFuel. Almost as bad as Metaverse, isn't it? LAWFUEL.com. LawFuel.com. Right, now I'm going to move back up here because we're still on the legal business. Um, okay, as if Epic Games didn't have their hands full trying to prosecute Apple at the moment, they've now found another target, which is the I hope this rescaling's not messing up your camera, James. Trying to
Looks
get it
fine.
right again.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Unreal Epic Games basically, who now own the Unreal Engine, which is a bit like Unity. It's a go-to thing. Um, they're actually suing the augmented reality glass maker Nreal. Now, Nreal, if you follow this show, has come up quite a few times in recent months. They've got the very lightweight looking headgear and stuff like that. And I know on a couple of occasions I've actually said, I like that. Anyway, Nreal has this Nreal Light mixed reality glasses. They're based in South Korea, and they're planned for launch in the US this very quarter, as it happens. And this report actually quotes The Verge. We do actually feature The Verge on occasion, but this particular post is at thestatesman.com. So that's TheStatesman. And although Epic doesn't actually have any AR hardware of its own, it has shown interest in the AR VR space. And they were responsible in 2017 for Robo Recall, which is a virtual reality game developed with the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine is a game-making tool used for films and general-purpose 3D design. That seems to be the value of the Unreal Engines. That seems to be their pitch, even in court with Apple as well. That they're indispensable game engine. The company is seeking an injunction that will force Unreal to withdraw its trademark, as well as unspecified damages. They'd actually tried to have discussions but weren't able to reach an agreement. Okay, the lawsuit claims the company's name looks and sounds virtually identical. And I've got to admit, when you actually speak the word Unreal and Enreal, there is a close similarity. I mean, basically, one is missing the U, isn't it? And they say it's no coincidence. They argued that Epic argued that the two companies are competing in the same market and suggested the similarity could cause confusion. And they go on about their registrations that they have as opposed to the ones that Enreal has. So I really wonder about Epic Games. I mean, they're spending so much money taking other people to court at the moment. I wonder if they'll have any left to make any games, but let alone the metaverse. But we will see. We will see. TheStatesman.com for that article. All right, moving on. The pandemic changed our cities. VR could revolutionize them. Has Zoom killed your commute? This VR expert says it's just the beginning. Yeah, that's very helpful. What VR expert? I can't find. I can't find the author. Never mind, never mind. Anyway, it's sort of they're looking about the rebuilding thing, really. How our cities will run and work, etc. After COVID, or when COVID quiets down is probably more to the point. And also, how virtual reality can get into that mix as an alternative to helping people work at home, alternative to Zoom, etc., etc. And I must just say there've been a lot of articles on the gist of this coming up all over the place fairly recently. This one is at somewhere called grist.org, grist.org, and don't really know much about them. Basically there's some quotes here from Jeremy Belson and Virtual Human Interaction Lab and stuff like that. It's a well-written roundup, unlike some of the I suspect the syndicates, that feed stories to local newspapers and local websites have actually got a pool of articles about how VR will change the world, etc. And they circulate them quite liberally. But this does seem to be a unique interview here. Anyway, so yeah, quite a good read there. A very cute picture of a future city, not quite as I imagined. But it's a painting. What else? Next frontier VR, etc., etc. So a lot of quotes from Jeremy Belson there, actually. So from Stanford again. So grist.org, grist.org for that one. And where are we? Oh yes, another. People have been around a while. Snap. Snap is a piece of software, is it not? You take photographs with. I think there's a lot more Snap. Snap, I think, make glasses and stuff with built-in cameras.
Right, right.
Anyway, Snap, they've now unveiled new spectacles with a built-in augmented reality. So presumably you can not only use those glasses to take photographs with, but you can also take a photograph of an augmented reality overlay that you might just stumble across when you're planning to take a nice team photo, So go and stand on top of the hill and think, oh, what a marvelous view. This panoramic view of pristine countryside. And then you put on your glasses to take a photograph, and then there's an overlay saying, pristine view of countryside. And you no longer want to take the photograph because it's obscured by an overlay. I presume you can switch to toggle them on and off. Anyway, yes, so they've unveiled new spectacles which have the AR function built in. They're the fourth iteration of their spectacles and the first to have augmented reality. They had a partner summit just recently, and that's where they unveiled them. And they now have the ability to realistically ground digital objects in the physical world. And there you go. I don't know if that could well be a screenshot.
I saw news also that they purchased their screen manufacturer. Is that coming up later in the news?
No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
Yeah, so they're
Um,
taking big steps.
okay. Using Lens Studios, creators can design new effects for the glasses, and they're worried about battery life. No. Um, uh, um, the XR Week in Review at Forbes actually, he mentions this, so that is coming up. I
Okay.
know that because it has the same picture, but whether he's got anything else
Right, right.
in his report, I don't know. Um, okay, we've done the lawyers. Right, this week in XR, here we are. Forbes.com. There we are. We recognise the picture. It could have been the last post, couldn't it?
Ah, it could have.
So this is Charlie Fink's roundup at forbes.com, Forbes.com. And that's the CEO of Snap taking the stage, artificial background by the look of it, showing off the Snap. Um, the glasses are in the hands of select developers, he says. Oh, as an encore, they also just announced they had acquired Wave Optics,
Ah,
the UK-based maker of AR waveguide displays for its specs.
yep.
They've paid 500 million US dollars in cash and stock, and removed yet another company from the UK ecosystem, unfortunately. Well, I don't think they'll be allowed to take it anywhere. They'll just change ownership. Okay. Okay. Mention of the Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, talking at their Googly thing during the week, including Google Starline, which I've mentioned already. Um, Photograph of somebody from Apple reluctantly heading to court. Tim Cook apparently yesterday, no, Friday, gave his testimony live in the court too. Which just seems to be bringing the proceedings to an ending. And it sounds like the judge, the woman who's trying it seems to be going Apple's way because she's clearly not impressed by Epic's emphasis on the importance of games, which is interesting. Anyway, we won't know until she passes judgment. She may surprise everybody. Okay. There's the Nreal augmented glasses, which we looked at before, and I think they look mighty old fine. I would wear them certainly. But then again, if Epic and Unreal manage to, this is very odd. According to this report, Nreal is suing Chinese smart glasses maker, whereas I understood they were a South Korean firm. Depending on which report you read, the one we looked at earlier did say South Korea, so go figure. Um, we'll see. And anyway, a whole load of other stuff here. DigiLens, that was the one I started with, of course, earlier today. Um, Oh, this is interesting. Where there's an app called TeamViewer, which one often forgets.
Oh,
It's
right.
been around for a long while. We've actually sort of used. I know I've been in things there in the past, long before Zooms and all the rest of it. Um, apparently, they have an app called Life AR, and on iOS and Android, and it turns video calls into AR interactive experiences. Um, yeah, I imagine TeamViewer have kind of been desperate to come up with something new to add to their mix, given the competition they've suddenly had since COVID. But good sign there; they're not out of the game, so to speak. VR AR Global Summit returns June 2nd to 4th, um, which you can get to the VR AR. You can click through about $44 US is what they want for a ticket. and yeah, one of their destinations, fairly rough. Um, oh yes, right. The XR week, the week in XR is actually a video, but it's also available as a podcast. And I did notice they say Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube, but I did see read a separate report somewhere here that is, as of this week, it's available on Apple Music, which I think is different from iTunes. Don't ask me to explain that one.
Hmm.
Why they need two, I don't know. I think iTunes is a legacy one that they're phasing out. Anyway, you'll find This Week in XR at Forbes.com, Forbes.com. I'm moving to The Verge, um, theverge.com, TheVerge.com. Microsoft's vision for the future of, well, all I can say is thank God they didn't say Metaverse. Microsoft's outlining its vision for the future of meetings today. After a year that's seen people dialing into office remotely, the company is once again banging the drum for hybrid work, a model that combines remote access with in-person work, not impersonal. Right, teasing concepts for Microsoft Teams, etc. And well, the picture says it all. Really, it's very much a Microsoft Office sort of scenario, isn't it? You know, the board there, the avatars of the people. These are actually photos from people on the Skype or Teams call, but montaged in to the background, and then space for real world people that aren't actually there. And yeah, that's their interface for remote meetings. It feels very Microsoft, very corporate, um, very boring, I suspect, for home users. But you know the way Microsoft make everything ubiquitous. So who knows? That may be your future of your family natter as well. Although strictly speaking, they're on Microsoft Teams for work there. The other thing, I don't have a post about this up, which is rather odd. I know, but I saw it recently. Um, I think it was yesterday, probably Friday. Microsoft announced that there's now two versions of Microsoft Teams. One is the one for work and business. The other one is a personal edition, which means you can create a hub for your friends and family and everything else, just in the same way you use the conventional Teams for corporate reasons. To be honest, I've installed Microsoft Teams a while ago. I don't make much use of it, but I certainly configured it as a personal portal rather than a business portal. So, as far as I can tell, you could use the business one for personal stuff anyway. However, we'll see. Plenty of links in here. There's a LinkedIn post from Microsoft CEO and uh, links to their campus and well, all their research stuff basically. So this roundup, however, you will find at theverge.com. So TheVerge.com. Moving on a bit more. Through the Looking Glass, a VR revolution in museums is here. Museums Association. Okay, fair enough. This is just another example. It's the Victoria and Albert Museum, who are the V&A, and they're here in the UK and London, of course. Their summer blockbuster is something called Alice, Curiouser and Curiouser, and it's a double immersive experience, a dizzying trip into virtual wonderland with a physical exhibition that's already heavy on the psychedelia. After months in lockdown, it's likely to be a sensory overload for visitors, brackets, in a good way. Um, let's have a look. A quickie look. Can you hear it?
Getting bits. It's like it's being gated. Now I hear it. Now I don't.
Okay, well, if it's not coming through, I mean, you know, this is a screencast anyway, so it's not that perfect. But if it's not coming through at all, I got the
Yeah.
hiss again.
Yep.
Then not really. What can do here? It's very annoying. Still, if it's not one thing, it's another these days,
Right.
isn't it?
Right.
Okay, well, there's a trailer there if you want to go and look. This post is at museumsassociation.org. So MUSEASSOCIATION.org. Sorry, I'm a bit slow reading that actually. It's just not, even with my glasses on, that is not easy to read. Too many S's and A's in conjunction with each other, I think. Right, okay, so museumsassociation.org for that one. And I'm sure if you go there, you'll be able to play your video, see how it's content. It's quite a nice little video, but I imagine nothing like the real thing. Now, another location that was holding a few things this week was Room Key, as they're known. Um, Again, this is Dean Takahashi at Games Beat here, or Venture Beat, I should say. EENTUREBEAT.com. And I'm sorry, but they have to use that frigging word again.
Yep.
At least this is a mini one, but I'm not
That's
quite sure what that is either. If it's it's
well,
a
that
mini
makes it
version
all
of
right then. Yeah.
and it's a mini version of the everything, you know. So you got a big everything and a little everything.
Yep.
But how can I can understand how the little everything might fit into the big everything, but how do you get the big everything into the little everything?
This is getting very philosophical,
It is indeed. It's life is getting very confusing these days. Bloody
existential.
metaverse. Bloody metaverse.
Right.
Roomkey, anyway, have kicked off its mini metaverse with a social entrepreneurship event. Um, okay, Roomkey is one of the contenders that wants to break us free from Zoom, blah, 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 etc., with a kind of mini metaverse. And Metaverse has even got a link. I hope that's a wiki or something sensible. Roomkey's Metaverse is a social event space in which 40, just 40, people can mingle in a 3D room with animated avatars and voice chat. Yeah, 40 billion? That might be close to a metaverse, but come on, 40? Who do they think they're metaversing are? Right. Anyway, on May 27th, which has happened now, they were holding a social entrepreneurship festival where they had Biz Stone from Twitter, the co-founder of Twitter, rather, as a host, with people chattering away, basically. Um, it's of these sort of spatial mappy kind of things with voice and stuff. Roomkey is not half bad in my opinion. Even these avatars, um, you know, you can only get 40 in there, but they're not bad. Um, it's not OpenSim or Second Life or even Samsung here, but it's all a number of places. But can chat basically, and they have their own kind of form of spatial audio. Um, I'm just going to click. Oh no, it's in the right place. Okay. So if you want that, go to venturebeat.com, VENTUREBEAT.com. And another main site here. This is TechCrunch. Now this, it was Philip Rosedale who actually forwarded this to me, and oddly enough, um, he just said this is using high fidelity audio. Um, um, let's say AFK, STK. Right. Although this article actually that you sent me to doesn't mention that fact at all, but apparently the spatial audio in Skittish is high fidelities. It's a playful new virtual event space for people who are all zoomed out. Oh, yeah. Are we all zoomed out now? Yes, we are zoomed out. Been so for quite a while actually. Anyway, it's also browser based, which is a nice thing for the sort of the web worlds crowd, basically. A virtual sorry, a virtual browser-based event platform with Oxo co-founder. Playful cross between a social audio chat app like Discord or Clubhouse and a cute video game replete with round, colourful animal avatars to choose from. Um, very much the light touch. but nonetheless, probably pretty good for amusing. One of the talks I saw, I heard during the week. I forget who it was, but somebody was saying how it's actually important to with the future of work and doing stuff online, to not just have webinars and things like that, but to remember the fun. Have areas like water cooler areas where people can go and socialize and like put little games around the water cooler for them to play while they're talking, so that it feels a bit more like that improvised conversation you may have at a water cooler in a conventional workplace. Sort of it's not just enough to say there's a virtual water cooler, go and chat, because people don't normally go to the water cooler to chat. They go to the water cooler and then casually end up chatting to the people already there. And often the conversation is nothing to do with work. It's what you watched on TV last night or what the weather's doing to the world and stuff. So there needs to be a way to instigate that kind of off work thing whilst, as a sort of place to go. This has nothing directly to do with that, but I mean, the idea that you might use something like this for an audio call, where you're not playing a game of chess with the other people there or the other person, that will be preoccupying yourself too much. But you're playing a lightweight little game that means you can have a conversation and then have a little flutter at the side, so to speak. Anyway, this is the okay. Well, the volume on that is disgracefully low anyway, so I'm not going to even ask James if it was coming through. Anyway, read more about this, um, including how skittish works, etc., etc. And behind the scenes, there's quite a lot to read there if you're interested in that kind of stuff. So this is at techcrunch.com, techcrunch.com. Right, and moving down. Okay. Moving to scarghost.com again. Yeah, remember that? Yahoo! Yahoo!
Oh, right.
Yeah. If our sound effects working, I didn't hear it, but you get
I
me
didn't. I
instead at
didn't play
least.
it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. Right, this is actually today. It's an exclusive hands-on with Hawaii VR glasses 6th dev kit, and a few photographs there, and then as a whole load to talk about it. But he's also, and actually I've got this in the video section coming up, but I don't think we'll do it. Let's just see if it works, but I've got a feeling we're going to have a problem.
Hello everyone from the Sky. Today I'm super excited because I'm giving to you an exclusive preview about the Huawei 6.
It'd be just sounds low if it did work, and on somebody whose voice is hard to make out. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, this is sort of hands-on with the VR glasses, and I think there we are. There's a picture of him trying on glasses and noting how the design is much better than the one of the other VR headsets. It actually, they do look like glasses as opposed to a small headset. Not sure where the division line comes, but I think I'll give that one to the glasses mob. Right. Okay. Well, he goes into it. You've got photographs. You've got everything else in the background, and of course, you've got the video to go with it. That is about as in depth and as long as his articles are. So, scarghost.com, SKARREDGHOST.com. So we're more or less finished this week at the same site we started with, except there is one more post to go, and that is remote collaboration company Arthur, that's ARTHUR, rolls out first major updates. There's almost a theme here, with room key and all these other sort of things. This is Arthur is presented as essentially a digital real estate company in the business of selling virtual office space. So they're not using VR to sell real world offices. They're actually selling virtual offices, as it were, and that's really their main thing. Complete with whiteboards, 3D objects, management tools, and other resources you would very well expect from a physical co-working environment. Largest clients are those with workforces and clientele that are geographically dispersed. So that's sort of what it looks like. There's a samenishness to that, with numerous others, quite frankly. What's in the update? Principal benefits: audio zones, increased room capacity, a speech-to-text feature, and an updated avatar system. You can also get a free consumer version. Well, there is a consumer version free on the Oculus Store, but audio zones and speech-to-text are only in the professional. And there's what the avatars look like. That's a very clever photograph. It's sort of I can't see their feet, but also I can't quite tell whether they're legless or not.
Right.
They fade out. So is it better to be totally legless, or is it better to fade out? Notice they're fading out below the waist.
Right.
And it does look weird. So who knows? Who knows what it really looks like? Anyway, you can find out more. And okay. Exciting to see the updates. They make Arthur more competitive, but actually they compare it obviously better and include Vibella and Frame, and Frame, of course. Oh no, Vibella and Frame are the same company, if I recall. Different products, but same owners. Right. So that's it for all the links. Now, I think I'm just going to wrap us up with a few little things. I basically got videos here. I'm not sure we're not having much success today playing videos. So instead of loading them, I'm just going to run through what they are. No easy way of doing this to blow it up, unfortunately. Okay. Well, as you know, YouTube links are just long numbers, so I can't really help you there. But Upload VR and is the name of a YouTube account. Earlier in the week, they had this week's Monday edition of the VR download. They were talking about eye tracking add-ons, Vive wireless woes, and consumer holograms. Any thoughts on that, James? I know you would have watched that, so I suspect you watched it.
Yeah, I think I commented earlier about at one point Ian was talking about why Oculus doesn't combine their Quest product with some of their VR stuff because
The Connect, yeah.
Yeah, or not the Connect. I mean the Portal, the Facebook Portal.
Sorry, sorry, I was getting the names confused. Yeah, Portal.
Yep.
Sorry.
And so it seems he commented it seems to him a very natural tie-in to provide VR with full body tracking with a product that already exists and is quite reasonably priced.
They're both Facebook products.
They're both Facebook.
Which
Go figure.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I don't know whether the portals have been, have captured the consumer magic, as it were, but also, Facebook's driven by advertising and money. Maybe there's something about that combination wouldn't pay off.
Right.
It's not always that they've neglected to think about it. They thought about it but figured it's a loss maker or something.
Right.
Who knows? The machinery going on at Facebook is anybody's guess.
There are people paid much more money to figure that out than me. How does that sound?
That sort of figures, yeah.
Yep.
Right. Also, now Road to VR have a YouTube account as well. So it's Road Space 2 Space VR, VR being in caps, and they have a design version 1 announcement of the DigiLens. I think it's actually the same film we saw embedded earlier on when we saw the blog post as well. Basically just showing you how to put together all the bits and pieces of that to put it together yourself. Glasses, rather nice.
Yep.
And okay, 20th of May. Scar Ghost also has a YouTube channel. What I've got here actually is the Hawaii VR glasses that we looked at just a few minutes ago. So this is the same video that's embedded in that blog. And then we get to some more specific things. World building for the theatre. This is part of Univirtual's experience, this month-long sort of semi-educational event. It was filmed in Altspace VR on May 19th, and which is called World Building for Theatres. The YouTube channel you want is Educators in VR. So it's Educators Space in Space VR, again in capitals. And that's the same account for all the recordings from the Universal thing during the week. Also, another new conference that has just started that goes on from about until mid-June approximately is the Immersive Learning Research Network, as opposed to a lot of education floating around here. It's sort of so much so that James asked me before we came on air, is education your thing?
Right. There's a lot.
There's a lot. There is a lot, and there's also lots of cross connect too. We both film virtual world's best practice in education from Second Life, of course. But over the years, so back from early Second Life days, in fact, there's been a lot of virtual reality or virtual worlds have always been a very good platform for education, and very much nowadays on OpenSim too. Unfortunately, many educators got what they feel is rather burned by Linden Labs in Second Life some years ago, when Linden Labs basically withdrew the educational discount that a lot of them relied on. It has come back in a fashion now, I gather, but there's mixed feelings. Some are back. There's still a lot of new educators turning up in Second Life all the while.
Yep.
But I think the fraternity as a whole sort of feels a bit embittered about that incident. So, they tend to look for places other than Second Life. I think it really depends on whether it's like, if you have your own classroom, your own people, your students, whatever, then choose OpenSim or any other platform that is economical. But if you're doing a kind of education that wants to attract mass, the public on the high street, as it were, like, I don't know, like an open, like the sort of, like libraries do and stuff like that, then Second Life has the merit of having an awful lot of people walking down the high street to be caught, so to speak,
Right.
and enticed into a classroom. So it's sort of different ways of looking at it, really. Anyway, the Immersive Learning Research Network. I am going to load this. I'm pretty sure we won't get very far when it comes to watching the video, but at least I can double check what their account is called. Yeah, it's immersive. Thank you. Right. Forgotten about that. Kilos Advanced Learning and Research in Africa. And that's their big auditorium. Yeah, so it's Immersive Learning Research Network is the name of their account. And this is going on to mid-June. So I reckon if you subscribe to them or check in on this account, you'll find quite a few videos popping up. Right, moving down the list. Okay, that was the keynote Advanced Learning and Research in Africa. There are quite a few keynotes there, actually, so it's not the keynote, if you see what I mean. And the universe. Oh yeah, world building for theatres. That's Educators in VR account. That was filmed in Altspace, by the way. The world building. Right, moving down here. Oh, monitor, wake up. All
Well,
right.
you just stood up as well.
Oh,
In
great.
world.
I think I woke up the computer by pressing the space key.
Okay.
And of course that does. Dear me. Oh, it's one of those days.
It
Everything's
is.
broken.
Right.
We're all broken, aren't we? Anyway, we're near at the end, thank goodness. Right, okay. So Immersive Learning Research Network, yet again, the same site we just went to. There is a feature panel called "Looking Forward to the Next 100 Years of XR Research." Well, that's quite ambitious, isn't
It
it?
is.
A
It
hundred
is.
years. Given how fast things move in the world of technology, 100 years. I wonder if there'll ever be anything. We probably don't know what XR was then.
One wonders.
Still,
Yeah.
the only thing I do know is I'm not looking forward to it because I won't be here in 100 years. Of that I'm certain.
I'm pretty sure. Agreed.
I think we're both certain on that one. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Talk about timescales. Anyway, unless of course the idea is to create something that will last 100 years. So they can replay the lecture to people in 100 years' time. Oh, never mind, I'm rabbiting. Okay. Oh, a third one, right now from the same account, Immersive Learning. Keynote 3: The Future of Space, Medicine, and XR. Um, I didn't watch that one. I haven't watched that one at all, but I've obviously clipped it without watching it. So, but it's in the title, I guess. Um, and keynote 2, so the same people, is the psychology of learning in virtual spaces with A. Howland. That's a name, Arthur. Um, okay, and I'm moving down. We got a lot from them. We really have a lot from them in one
Yeah.
fell
Yeah.
swoop here when they all appeared near the end of the week, of course. This has been the end of the first week of this particular conference. And you can't easily get there if to attend live. It costs you quite a lot of money. So the best way to enjoy it, I think, is these videos posted a couple of days later. Right. So they also had a feature panel looking back, insights from a century of cumulative something. I'll leave you to guess what that might be.
Okay.
But that's actually a panel discussion. They're panels of all these people sort of standing up at the front here. The other nice thing is, of course, I was at another panel in Vibela, not last week, but the week before. And, when I see these pictures here, I recognize the layout and the stage and everything else there. Including, you can actually see. In fact, well, you can't see
We
because
can't
you're
see,
not on
right?
you're not on my desktop. But there's a one here that you can see all the avatars sitting in the front seats. But they have a joke in Vibella about the gingerbread men. Um, Apparently, when a region gets so full that it can't reliably run fast and display even the simple avatars, they all get replaced by gingerbread men.
Oh.
And some of the presenters make funny references about, oh, I'm now talking to an audience of gingerbread men. Because obviously the front row and everything, all the audience suddenly turned into gingerbread figures.
Hmm.
Although the presenters, fortunately, are sacrosanct, apparently. Okay, so they also have a video up here, the last one, which is ILREN 2021 opening ceremony. And all I can see from the thumbnails, they've actually sat down and they're talking about the opening and what it's all about, really. Um, okay, moving on. Right, the next account, YouTube again, is AWE, which I think is actually AWE dash Augmented World Expo. Um, Now, or the conference, the two main conferences, one in America, one in Europe, but they also have local chapters all over the place. The one in Florence, Italy's been publishing a lot recently. But I think the account you'll find these things published at, if I remember rightly, is actually AWE, Augmented World. Well, actually, I'm going to click on this one, not to play it, but to just give you the details. Bloody hell. It's not meant to do that. Right. Come on. Pause you thingy. What's it? Right. Okay. Here we are. Master virtual XR collaboration in your workplace. How to master it. And yeah, here's the account. AWE space dash space augmented space world space expo. And they have actually quite a lot of stuff there, and also this is just a promo. In fact, actually 46 seconds for the actual training session, mastering virtual XR. And interestingly, the 2-day workshop is being led by Charlie Fink, who of course is Weekend and XR at Forbes and all over the place, basically. So anyway, you have or Metaworld Expos, the account you want there, and they've got a whole selection of video stuff. And yeah, you don't anyway. And moving on, talking of Charlie Fink, we have this week in XR the podcast as opposed to the Forbes column. They are very different things, but they're sort of companions in a way. Okay, it looks to me, yeah, they didn't have a guest this week, so it's just Charlie and Ted from Paramount Pictures. Talking about Snap, Google, lawsuits, etc., etc. The account you want is This Week in XR. So this space week space in space XR, and XR there is in capitals. Always well worth catching Charlie's stuff for sure. Right, and God, I knew I had a lot of videos this week, but okay. There is also latest edition of Between Realities, and we'll load that one quickly. I'm pretty sure it's Between Realities. We go there often enough. Here we are. Between Realities. Season 3, episode 21, featuring Grumpy Duck VR. Oh gosh, golly, what a name, eh?
Yeah.
There you are. There the guys are, of course.
As long as it's not grumpy old ducks.
Grumpy Duck VR, there you are.
There was a weird moment in my life when you've got like characters from Resident Evil around you.
I presume we can't hear that anyway, so why?
Just a little bit, very quiet, but.
Yeah. We'll have to do a test for next week or something. There's definitely something wrong with the audio. I wonder if it's probably Discord, because it's good on this machine.
Yeah.
And it's well, never mind. That's behind the scenes stuff, really.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. What else have we got? Okay, so that was Between Realities. Now, educators in VR, the universal experience ones are the account is Educators in VR. So Educators Space in Space VR, again at YouTube. A few of them near the end of the week here. Closing the skills gap with XR. That was I'm sorry, I'm looking at the thumbnail and trying to read it, which is really stupid of me, really. Yeah, this was a talk by Julia Simpson, rather. It wasn't a panel. There was another one here, which is colleges in virtual reality panel. That's actually a panel discussion. Again, I can't really see the names properly. I can see there's 5 people on the panel, but that's not very helpful, is it? Education in Mozilla Hubs, what you should and shouldn't do. This is quite an interesting one if you use Mozilla Hubs. Again, that is just a talk by, I think he's Dutch or something. I can't really pronounce that name anyway. So education in Mozilla Hubs, what you should and shouldn't do. And then the final video, this one we've done already. It's the Huawei VR glasses from Scar Ghost, but that was included, it's embedded in his blog. So with that, I can safely say we're done-dones.
Oh, okay.
Yay, we're done-dones. Don't know how long it took this week since we couldn't play the videos.
Right.
Couldn't hear the sounds. Oh dear, so much for our twiddling knobs. It definitely went wrong today.
Nope.
So, any thoughts on that, Lars? Or
the Metaverse usage of the word. I mean, I certainly do understand that. Very frustrating that a concept that should be so universal is now taking the place of website, basically. A company's website or a company's platform is definitely not the webiverse, is not the metaverse. So, but it could come around, you know, as these little walled gardens come and go. Eventually, the
Yeah.
metaverse will emerge.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think what annoys me is I'm so used to the word in its very abstract umbrella use, and
Hmm.
it's something we've been using for 15 years.
Yeah.
And now there's a whole load of people coming along who don't apparently really know any of the history of they know Ready Player One and supposedly Snow Crash.
Right.
Um, but I don't know, it's just being abused now, and I don't know where it's fault of COVID and this boom in sort of online spaces, spatial computing, if you call, or something that would have happened anyway. But it's when you have a very clear idea of what, not so much what something is because it's not there yet, but what it should be, what it will be, and where there is already consensus. That's the important thing.
Hmm.
Right across practitioners in virtual worlds and things, ranging from the early days of Second Life to, for the last 20 years, conceptually, we've used the word, hijacked from Neil Stephenson, one admits, to describe this entity that doesn't exist yet, but basically it is an umbrella of all these things. And, it's a sort of betrayal of sorts to the whether wittingly or not, people are coming along and they're using the word without any, where it has no association with what's been for 20 years, if you see
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yep.
It's just something off the top of people's heads, you know, and we would a few years ago we'd have talked about having a virtual meeting, and by which we'd all log into Second Life or OpenSim or Sansar, and we'd have a meeting. We still do it, but it was assumed that short of naming the platform you were having the meeting in, that's what a virtual meeting would be. But now there's all sorts of, Zoom is a virtual meeting. Everything under the sun has got some kind of configuration for having a virtual meeting. And, some of them have visual simulations, which I suppose sort of count. But, I despair sometimes, sort of, if you put a lot of work into something, and like you wrote a novel, and you dreamt up a really nice title for it and a really catchy word, fictional word that you made up. And then in the course of writing some novels, this fictional word is gradually, slowly defined so that it becomes fairly much, it may be abstract, but it's also an absolute. And then somebody comes along and starts using, that word. It's really, it's that word itself is like the key to your universe. And you get really pissed. I mean, of course, you might have a trademark, which helps. But I mean,
Right. Right.
thank God nobody trademarked Metaverse, or we'd all be shit. Anyway, I think we better leave it there. I'm going to
All
start
right.
rambling, and I'm
Yeah, that's
dying to
right.
get
All right.
dying to get my headphones off for some reason today.
Okay.
I don't know how long our show was. We started very late so if any of
Yeah.
you are watching this live, we were apologies for being a bit late
We're at an hour and a
appearing
half.
today.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. And anyway, most people watch you during the week anyway, don't they?
Yeah.
So, want to? Well, I think that's it. We're going to call it a wrap. We said everything we want to, and we're both knackered.
Right.
I am. I don't know about him.
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's goodbye from him anyway.
And anyway, it's goodbye from him.
And anyway, yes, it's goodbye from the two of us because it doesn't matter whether it's XR or VR, AR or MR or an electric car. Because
We
are
are.
we are
Yep.
etc etc. So until same time, same place next week, everybody have a good week. Stay safe, stay indoors, and stay entertained. Why
Oh.
not?
Oh yeah.
Yes, don't work too hard. Stay entertained as well. It's tempting, I'm told, with working from home and stuff these days to you may not only do you not waste any time commuting, but you also put in extra hours that are often unbilled, I'm told. So I think the workplace, people running workplaces have gained considerably from the home working moves. Anyway, that's beside the point. Have a good week, everybody, and see you soon.